Hello, welcome to this Pilates session. So, who likes the big ball? I do. So, today's class is going to be all about the ball. There will be a few things when we come down onto the ground where we won't use the ball, but for the most part, we're going to use it. So, that being said, let's go ahead and start with this ball, and you're going to see that I've got this Pilates ring over here that just makes a nice stand to put the ball on so it doesn't roll away when we're not using it. And then before we get started, let me also emphasize here, this class is not meant for the beginner. There is some assumptions of Pilates mat work knowledge here, and some of the ball exercises that we're going to do are definitely not beginner focused. They are more for the intermediate and advanced student. So I want to be upfront and clear about that. Not that you couldn't do some of the exercise, but I just wanted to let you know that those things are coming. If you fall off the ball, no worries, just laugh, get back on it. It's all good, try again. And I don't typically do an intention in my Pilates classes like I do in my yoga classes, but this week, my youngest stepson is getting married. So tomorrow is actually rehearsal dinner and everything like that. So this week is very joyous. I've got family coming in later today and all through the weekend. So lots of joy surrounding that. So I wanted to record this big ball class here, and I want to bring in that joy of play, joy of having fun with the ball, joy of having fun with your practice. Sometimes we forget to do that. And so I just want to bring that in. So have fun, laugh. Otherwise, we'll get started. So from here, good. Actually, let's put the ball right next to you, and I'm just going to put back on the stand. Let's come into some standing roll downs first before we incorporate that ball, just to kind of get situated in good form. Good. So I'm going to take my feet about hip width apart here. Good. And I'm just going to kind of rock back and forth, going into the balls of the feet, the heels of the feet, and then maybe even a little bit side to side here, just getting a feel for my balance, where my weight distribution is. And then I'm going to think about, see if I can press evenly into big toe and pinky toe mounds. I can feel both ends, both sides of the heel. So think about that, all four corners approach of the feet. Good. Now, I want to be able to lift up through my inner arches. I want some softness in the knees. So I don't want to lock here. I want the softness there. The softness in the knees should give us a little bit of softness in the tailbone. Zipping up from pubic bone to behind the navel. Belly button is in. Let's roll the shoulders back. Just relax them. Don't think about jamming them anywhere. Just relax. Good. Nice form. I'm looking forward. Rolling down. Think about a downward pressure from the hips through the feet into your floor or your space. I'm going to nod my chin. I'm thinking about a C-curve scoop. Belly button is in. I'm just going to let my arms do what they do here. Some of us are really tight in the backside, and if that's you, let your knees bend a little bit more. Good. And then when you come into your limit, which may or may not be the floor, again, think about that downward pressure, and then from the tailbone, peel up one vertebrae at a time, stacking bone by bone. Good, rolling the shoulders back. Good, chin and head are the last to come up. Good, let's do that again. So be at ease, find your good form. Inhale, exhale, nodding the chin. Belly button is still in here. You're peeling down one vertebrae at a time, bone by beautiful bone. Arms are just going to do what they do. Knees are going to bend if they need to. And we come to our limit. Good. And then when you're ready, that downward pressure, whole body engagement, pressing through, starting from the tailbone. Again, arms are going to do what they do here. Stacking bone by bone. Good. Coming all the way back up. Nice tall spine. Good. Let's bring that ball in now. Good. So from here, you're not going to start from standing upright. You're actually going to start from a little bit of a fold, okay? So think about not hinging your hips way back here. Kind of keep them more towards the ankles. Good. My belly button is in. Good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to think about lengthening for a moment, bending the knees. I'm rolling that ball out in front of me. Maybe I can find a nice L shape here. So maybe ears and biceps come into alignment. And then from here, once more, I'm still thinking about that downward pressure. And then I'm going to roll as I come all the way up. Now I'm still in a little bit of a C curve here. I'm going to keep that as I roll and lengthen back out, finding your L. Good. Staying with breath. Good. Inhale, exhale, rolling it back up. Good. And coming back, you're still in that C curve. Last time. Lengthen, 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 lengthen. Take a moment here if this feels really good to you. Maybe you want to experiment bending the knees a little bit more. Maybe not. Good. And then from here, we're going to round. I've got that downward pressure. Belly button is coming in. Good. And then for a moment, kind of trying to hold my ball in place. I'm not doing a very good job. I'm just going to kind of press my knees into that here. As you come up, reach, 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 and take that back down. Good. We're going to warm up the core here, get a little bit of cardio in before we go to our balance challenge. So we're going to pick up the ball. Now, some of you, because the camera and size of the room, size of the ball, you're not going to be able to see my ball when I take it up overhead, usually, or the whole ball. But that's okay. So from here, just kind of standing, maybe feet are a little bit wider than hip width apart. And we're going to warm up the shoulders a little bit more. I'm just going to take this ball up and over. And then we're going to let the spine kind of come up and over with me a little bit here. So the ball is giving you a little bit of resistance. Good. Good. It's close to Halloween at the time of this recording. I don't have copyright and licensure, you get that word out there, permission. But if you are so inclined, it is fun to do this class to a Halloween music playlist if you've got Pandora or Spotify. Good. And one more time, other way. Good. And then we'll come up and we're going to take this ball up overhead. Good. We're going to start to have some fun here. Think about a wood chopper. So from here, good. I'm just going to start. You're starting a little bit in rotation here. Good. And I'm going to bring that knee and I'm going to pull it down. And then I'm going to tap. And then I'm going to pull. Good. And 3, 4. Put a bend in the other knee in at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Give your shoulders a little bit of a break. If you need to kind of do that little workaround, go ahead and do that. We'll take that right into the other side. So from here, you're starting a little bit in rotation. Inhale, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. I'm going to take that little workaround here for a moment. Good. We're going to get into some nice balance. Good. So this can be a tricky balance for some people, being mindful of that. This is a warrior 3, kind of a one-leg balance challenge here. And I have found that it's a little bit easier, or at least for me, when you take your ball out, have your supporting leg, which for right now is going to be the left leg because that happens to be the leg closest to you, is in the center of the ball. Okay, and then you're kind of holding on to the side here. So be mindful of that. You want your hip, knee, and toe to face forward. So we don't want to do this internal rotation thing or this external rotation thing. You want to try and practice good form. You want to protect the hips and the knees and the low back by doing that. Keep softness in this knee. Good. So here we go. Now I'm going to take my right foot back. It's going to have a toe tap here for a moment. And then from here, good. think about squaring off the hips. So your left hip is going to come back a little bit and your right hip's going to come forward a little bit. And you're nice and tight in that belly. So I'm just going to roll that out. Good. Now from here, when you feel stable, and you might have to move that ball around here, the first one is always a throwaway. Good. I'm going to lift and tap, and lift and tap, and lift and tap. Right toes, knees, and hips are facing the ground, not to the side. And lift and tap, lift and tap. From here, good. Just roll that back up for a moment. Give this leg a little bit of a break, but not too much of one. We're going to go right back out in there. Good. So find your ball placement. This left leg is working hard. Good. Situate your hips. Good. And then when you're ready, I'm going to lift. And then I'm going to round and bend. And this is where it gets really hard. And then I'm going to lengthen. And then round and bend. Whoo. And lengthen. Could we do 2 more? Round and bend. And lengthen. Round and bend. Whew, maybe not. Maybe you need that little balance check and lengthen. Good. Press into that heel. Come out of the hip if you can. Breathe. Smile. Whew. Bring down that back foot. Roll that back up. Whew. Good. From here, I'm going to move that ball to the side. We're going to stretch this for just a moment. And I'm just going to take that heel forward. And then I'm just going to kind of sink into it. Good. Should feel really good. Good. Now, guess what? We get to do that all again on the other side. So I'm just going to switch sides here, just so that the side is always facing the camera. So from here, now the right side is going to be your supporting leg, the working leg, the main working leg. Hip, knee, and toe are going to track forward. We're going to keep this knee soft. Good. Right hip's going to come back. Left hip's going to come forward now. Take that toe back. Good. And then we're just going to take it here. Good. Find your balance. Remember, you might have to move that ball a little bit over to one side to make this work for you. Find yours. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift and tap. Lift and tap. Belly button in tight. Stay with the breath. Expand that rib cage. And lift and tap. Left toes, knees, and hips are facing the ground. And lift and tap. Good. Bring that back in for a moment, but not too much. We're going to go out and do that deeper balance challenge here. So rolling it back out. Good. Find your balance. Find your placement that works for you. Good. Now we're going to lift. We're going to bend and come in. And lengthen. And bend. Whoo! Lengthen. My hip is trying to find all kinds of stability little hacks here. Good. And lengthen. And bend. We'll try one more. Woo! These are tough. Good on your last one. Press it out. Get into the heel. Lift out of the hip if you can. And back foot comes forward. Whew. And bring that back in. Good. Put this to the side for a moment. Take that right foot forward. Good. Just find that little stretch. Good. Now my heart rate's elevated a little bit after that series. Maybe yours is too. We're about to elevate it a lot more here. Good. So coming back to that joy, that fun. Good. We're going to have a seat on our ball. Good. Now, I'm going to take my feet out so they are a little bit wider here for good stability and support. Good. Find a nice tall sit. We're still zipping up. And when you're ready, you can just relax your arms to the side. For some of you, this might be all you need. Others are going to really have some fun here and really bounce. Try to keep your bottom on the ball. Good. We're coming back to that joy. Maybe some of us had one of those bouncy balls and it was really fun. I did. I had a Mickey Mouse one. You can stay here. You want to add more? Clap overhead. Bang the ball. Make some noise. Good. We're having fun. We're going into joy. So it doesn't matter. Good. You can stay with this one, or maybe you come forward. Keep a little bend in the elbows. Good. It's always okay to clap. Good. Good. Stay with it. Stay with me. Joy. Laugh if you need to. If you bounce off your ball, laugh, laugh, laugh. Get back on it. Whew. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to slow that down just a little bit. Good. Just little bouncies here. Good. And then when you feel okay, just let that breath come back to normal. Let that heart rate get down a little bit here. We're going to stretch right here as we normalize. So from here, I'm going to take my left hand to the ball. Right arm's going to come up. Inhale, exhale, get a nice side bend over. Good. Maybe we want to open to the back here. So you want to look back there at that hand. Breathe and expand. Coming back. Maybe we'd like a C curve roll here. So I'm really reaching forward. Good. We'll lengthen. We'll come back up, going right into the other side. Inhale, exhale. Ooh, tighter side. Get that nice side bend over. Good. And then from here, maybe you want to just open up a little bit. Good. And then maybe you want to take that little C curve roll, really reaching forward. Good. And coming back up. Let's take our hands forward, clasping the hands, press away and around. Good. And then when you're ready, take your hands behind you. Now, if you can clasp them and open up and whatnot back there, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to keep my hands on my ball. I'm just going to open. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll come back here. Great. So I'm going to turn sideways here. So we're going to do some pelvic tilting work and some little circles with it. It's just a little bit easier if I turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So finding that nice tall sit again, think about the ears, the shoulders, and the hips. Good. We're going to tilt the pelvis forward and back. So from here, when I rock forward, taking my tailbone forward, good. That's putting me in a posterior tilt, anterior tilt, hip bones rock forward, tailbone rocks back. Good. So posterior and anterior. Belly button is in nice and tight. Good. Good. Now, if this feels good to you, you want to stay here, stay here. Otherwise, some of us are going to move in little circles here. Maybe try not to fall off the ball. So it's always okay to do a balance check if you need to. Good. Let's go in that opposite direction. Good. And then from here, we'll come back to center. We're going to do one more little, a couple more little movements here with the spine before we come to the floor. So finding your nice tall sit again. I'm going to take hands behind my head. Head is into the hands. Hands are not pressing into the head or neck. Just relax through the shoulders, relax through the elbows. And from here, I'm going to take a side bend. So it's my right side that's facing you now. So I'm going to think about squeezing the low rib cage and the top of that hip together and center. And other side and center. And here's two. And it's harder with the ball than it is when you're seated because now you've got the balance and stability challenge with this move. Good. We'll do one more. Good. Coming nice and tall, we're going to go into rotation. So we're going to rotate another side. Good. Belly button is in. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Coming back in. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We're going to come down. I'm going to walk forward. So I'm walking forward enough to where if I lie back here, lay back here, I'm not sure what the correct English is there, but have your low back and your mid back supported on this ball. Good. Take your hands behind your head. Now, if it's safe for you, you can take this as far back as what you're able. If you've got vertigo or something like that, it might not be good for you to come all the way back here. So be mindful. And then from here, I'm going to nod my chin and I'm going to come back up. Good. I'm going to come up as much as I can here while I'm connected. We're going to go into crunches here. So we're going to lower, exhale, lift, lower, lift. And we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a break, stretchy. Nodding that chin, coming back up. Good. This is crisscross variation, 1 of 2 that we will do here. So from here, we're going to just go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Find joy. 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Take it back. We're just doing 8 of these, knowing that we're going to do a second set later. Good. Nodding that chin, coming back up. Here we go, other side. And we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Take it all the way back. If you can reach back, coming into a full supported back bend here. Let yourself. Yeah, I'm feeling that burn now. Also working up a little bit of a glow. I hope you are too. I'm going to take my legs a little bit longer. Good. If you need to nod the chin and come up a little bit, go for it. Otherwise, I'm just going to stay right here and let that support me as I come down. Good. And then I'm just going to press back up. Good. And I'm going to come off my ball. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of a prep work here for something that we're going to do towards the end of class. So those of you that have been on Pilates Reformer with a tower, with a push-through bar, that are in the more advanced level classes might know this one, where when we roll out with a bar, we're trying to keep the hips and the knees in that alignment. So rolling out is not as much of a problem as it is for people coming back. So this is what it looks like here. You're rolling down. Think about that roll down, roll up principle. We're rolling the ball out here. Good. And you're going to go to your limit, and you're not going to go completely into the L. And then from here, you're going to round. So when you round, your hips are not moving back behind you. That's the hard part. It took me several years to master that exercise. So be kind with yourself. The nice thing about a recording, you can always come back to it and keep practicing. So we're going to practice a few of these. Let's try 4 more. Zip up, nod that chin, roll it down. Good. Trying to keep hips and knees in alignment. You're finding length here. Good. Maybe you can actually come out more into an L. Good. And then we're going to round and come back in. I will say the farther you go out, the harder it is to come back in. So be mindful of that. So there's 1. Let's go 2. Good. Get a nice lengthen. Oh, round up for 3. You don't have to do these fast. Good. And take it out. And taking it back up. Let's try 1 more. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to round and come all the way back up. Great job, everybody here. So now I'm just going to bring this ball a little bit more forward as I have a seat. Good. And because I'm going on the side, I'm going to have this ring just a little bit more handy here for a moment. But we're going to use this ball to do some footwork. Good. So we'll do footwork a few ways here. So remember, just like with other exercises, especially with the ball, your first one might be the throwaway because it can take a little bit to find proper foot placement. But we're going to take the heels on the ball. Good. Your heels are like a magnet. They're glued together. They're glued to the ball. We're in the Pilates V here. So I've got about a fist width apart between the two big toes. So I'm in that slight external rotation. Knees and shoulders are in that alignment. My knees are over my hips. So I'm kind of in that tabletop position. Good. I'm in my safe neutral. I'm rolling back. I'm finding some length here from crown to tail. And you're going to press forward and bring it back in. And it can be a little bit of a balance challenge. I know I make it look easy, but when I first started doing footwork with the ball, my ball kind of wanted to go all over the place here. So think about center, straight forward, straight back in. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back in. Good. Now zip the feet together, legs and everything is together, and keep pressing. Think about your glutes. Think about the hamstrings here. Think about length. So even the front of the thigh and the inner thigh are working here to keep that ball stable. Your core is also working. Good. Now from here, when you're ready, we're going to take the feet out wider. We're going to go into the external rotation, wide legs. So hips, knees, and toes are going to turn away from the body. Good. So I'm still maybe slightly wider than shoulder width apart here. And then I'm going to press and lengthen, and I'm going to come back in. Good. And come back in. Good. And when you're ready, we're going to come back in. Good. And from here, just take the feet and just kind of make some little circles here. Good. Bringing back in that fun. Don't worry about so much what you look like. Try not to let the ball escape. Good. And then from here, we are going to go into one bridge, maybe two bridges, because the first one might be the throwaway. And then we're going to go into some more ab work. So if you are super proficient in the ball, you want more challenge, you can do this with feet and legs together. I find that more challenging. It's a little bit less challenging if you think about more of a hip width apart approach. But from here, we're going to press into the ball. We're going to rock the pelvis back, and we're going to peel up into that bridge. Woo, yes, we are shaking and quaking. It should happen that way. And we're going to roll it back down. Maybe you want to press long here for a moment. Bring it back in. Bridge number 2, rocking it back up. Good. Taking it up. Woo. And taking it back down. And then maybe pressing long and coming back in. Good. Let's do a little wiggle wiggle. We are going to go into hundreds from here. If you're like, I really need a break from that ball right now, set the ball to the side. Your hundreds can be feet down, tabletop, diagonal line, just like we do in other mat work classes. No worries about that if that's what you need. Those of us that want the ball, you can take your feet here, press into it as you come up. Some of you are going to take your legs long and maybe press into it as you come up. So different ways of feeling. And then you've got more traditional ball things. You can be here in tabletop or your diagonal line. Really tall people, watch your lever here. Okay, that ball can make this one super tricky. You want to be where you can be in your neutral spine. So from here, when you're ready, find where you're going to go here. Good. Arms up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, find your C curve. Find your legs where you're going to take them. Start pumping. And we inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. With a smile 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, hold. Lift higher, reach deeper, and bring that back in. Good. Release that ball. Take the ball into the hands. We're just going to wiggle, wiggle. Maybe you want to use that ball as a little bit of leverage, taking it side to side. Good. Good. We're going to go into single leg stretch. So knees are going to be in your tabletop position. We've got the ball. We're going to C curve. We're going to reach that ball over our knees, and we're going to come in. Good. 1, 2, 3. Anchor the hips. 4, 5. Belly button in. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Bring that down. Ball's going to come to the side for a moment. Good. Single straight leg stretch. We'll take those legs up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach. Good. Behind the left leg, right leg comes long. Pulse, pulse, switch. 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 Stay with that. Or go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Woo! Take that down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Double leg stretch. We're going to bring this ball back in here again. Tall people, watch your lever. You don't want to be pulled out of your neutral spine. So from here, I'm going to start knees in tabletop position. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to C curve up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Take your little break. Double straight leg stretch. We're going to do this 2 ways. The first 6 will be one way. The last 6 will be a different way. So from here, taking that ball up. Ball's going to come between the legs. Again, taller people, watch your lever. Good. From here, upper body can be grounded, or maybe you want to nod that chin, lift up into the C curve. Legs are going to move. And we've got 1, 2, exhale, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pass the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With a smile, find some joy. 6, last one. Joy that this is the last one. And take that down. Woo! Take it side by side. Well, guess what? We're going to use this ball for crisscross. So from here, taking the knees into that tabletop position. This is your crisscross number 2, your last one. Good. So inhale, exhale. Good. My left knee comes in. I'm rotating to the left and right. And here's 2. Hips stay even. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take that back down. All right. From here, I'm going to put this ball to the side. Good. Now, the funny thing is, some of you are going to roll over to your side and come to a seat. Others are going to try to be like the ball and roll like that ball when you come up to a seat here. Good. So notice how you feel, finding a smile. Good. We're just going to do one seated exercise here, and then we're going to come up and we're going to work more on upper body and bring in that joy and that fun once more. So from here, we're just going to use this for spine stretch forward. So my heels can still come as wide as my mat here when my ball is between them. Some of you might need to come a little bit wider. So be where you need to be. Bring that ball in as close as you can. Find a tall spine here. Zip up from pubic bone behind the navel. And big inhale, exhale. Good. You're going to nod. So think about that cue I give in other classes. You've got that rope around your waist. You're folding over that rope. We're not hinging from the hip. And then we're going to round and come back up. It is the exact same thing you're doing when you're doing a standing roll down, if you want to think about it that way, or when we were on our knees and we were taking the ball forward and back. So keep that principle in place. Good. And we're going to come up. Good. One more. And coming up. Great job from here. Let's actually have a little fun with some sideline work first, because I forgot that I did want to do that in class today. So we're going to do the kneeling version of the sideline work. So if you just cannot do any part of a kneeling version of sideline work, then just put your ball aside and you can do all of this lying on your side. But your ball is going to be your support. Now, this knee, this side, everyone's going to look a little bit different here because it's all about your comfort and where you feel. So where you see me go with this leg might not be where you need to go with that leg. So be mindful of that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my top leg out, which happens to be my left. I'm bringing this ball in close and I'm going to fold over it. Good. And you might move a little bit here and that's okay. Good. So support system number 2, your ball is support system number 1, believe it or not. Hand's going to come to the floor. Good. Let's take this other hand up here. I'm just going to get a little bit of an adjustment in that knee. Good. And we're going to lift and lower. And 7, 6, 5. Maybe we can take the other hand up. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. This one I'm not as good at. I do have to take my hand down. If you're super strong, super good with balance, you can leave this here for more challenge. Just another way to do it. Good. And we're going to bend and stretch and bend and stretch. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, whoops, that happens, and 1. You just laugh and go on. The ball is hard. It's fun, but it's hard. Good. So from here, find your support as you need it. Tiny little circles. We'll go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch the hips, other side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Take that down. Come off your ball. We're going to stretch the hips. We're going to stretch both sides. So I'm just going to kind of take this ball to my left as I sink towards my right. Breathe and expand. We'll come back up. Take your ball to the right. Sink the hips to the left. And coming back up. Good. Just roll that ball to the other side. Good. Find your knee placement in your supporting side. Good. So this other side's going to come out. I'm going to roll over the side of the ball here. You will move a little bit. Good. You can find that support if you need to. Other hand can come behind the head. Good. And kind of think about too, because I was a little crooked on this ball. You still want your shoulders and your hips to be in alignment. So try not to kind of be too open here or too closed off here. Watch your pelvic stability. All the principles are the same. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to lift 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We'll see if I can do it. Nope, I don't think so. Good. And whoop, I'm really bad on this side. Good. And 1, whoo, 2, 3, driving through the heel. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Here's your tiny little circles. 8 forward, 8 backwards. Good. And then whenever you're ready, good. Take your 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Carefully come off the ball. We're going to do those side hip stretches again. So taking the ball to my right, hips to the left. And coming back up, taking it over to the other side. Good. So here is my favorite part of doing ball exercise classes. I'm going to make sure that this ring is not in my way. Good. I also think this is the funnest part, or the most fun part. Use correct grammar, Mary. Good. But it also can be the most challenging part to a lot of people. So honor where you are. Remember, this is a recording. You can come back to this anytime and practice, and we practice, and we practice. And as we get stronger, then we move on. So from here, I'm going to start on my knees. I've got that ball close to me. Good. I'm going to come belly down. Obviously, this is not something that you would do if you were pregnant or have issues in the belly, but I'm going to come forward here. Good. So now my legs are lifted, but my midsection and my hips are supported. So we're going to do a supported push-up here. And notice how I'm kind of sinking here. So I've got that little break at the thoracic spine. I'm right below the rib cage. I'm going to kind of pull that in just a little bit more here. So belly button is in. So be mindful of that too. 2 push-ups you can do. You can do tricep push-ups. Fingers are forward. Elbows are coming straight back. Yes, your legs will lift a little bit. Or you can do a more chesty push-up. So I would recommend taking your fingers in a little bit more forward here, and elbows will come out to the side. So the chesty push-up is the one that I'm going to choose today. You choose where you need to go. We're going to try for 8. So finding that good core. Good. Just like you're in a plank and mat work. Press that heart up into the spine. And then here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Take that back, roll it back, take yourself a break, maybe hug your ball. Sometimes it feels good to just hug something big. And then when you're ready, we're going to go out a little bit farther or further. I need to go back to English class. Good. We'll come back out here. Good. So now if, however, this is where you need to stay with the support, this is where you're going to stay. Others, maybe you can come out a little bit more here. Good. So now I've got that ball more around the knees. Some of you are just going to plank here, and this is all you're going to do. You're not going to move. You're going to work on good form. Watch yourself. You don't want the hips and the midsection to dip down here. Be supported. Press into that floor. So those of you that are not planking, you're going to go with me in movement. Maybe we bend the knees and we take it long. And could we do 2? Watch my upper body. I'm not collapsing. And 3. And 4. If you fall off, laugh. Get back up again and try again. 5. I think this is 5. And 6. Whew. Could we do 7? Could we do 8? Whew. Good. Taking that long with care, not too fast. This is still a balance challenge as long as you're on this ball, and you'll walk it back. Whew. And you'll take it back. And maybe we hug our ball. Good. Now this next one is the hardest one. It is the most balance challenging, core intensive. It is also for some people a handstand prep. And those of you that are working towards that, remember I don't teach that in a class, but those of you that are working towards a handstand, I would practice this kind of walking out close to a wall. So you have support if you lift. But from here, I'm going to start standing a little bit. I'm bringing this ball technically off my mat all the way back here, so I have room to move and go out forward. And you'll see that here in a moment as to why that's important. So it's going to kind of bend in. Good. Now I'm going to take this down. Good. I'm going to walk it. Good. I'm going to walk it all the way forward. Now, for some of us, this is where you stay and you're going to practice your plank here. For others, maybe you go back to this bend and stretch. For others, maybe we work on a pike up. Woo! And then maybe we come back down. This took a few years to perfect before I ever entertained the idea of a teacher, or being a teacher, maybe I should say that. My then Pilates instructor said I was the only one that could do that and the only one that she has seen ever fall off the ball during that practice. So, woo, 3 is all you need. And then take that back down. It is harder than it looks. It requires lots of upper body strength. So if you do not have upper body strength, how do we get it? We get it by planking. We get it by doing push-ups, maybe some downward facing dog. Work up to a 3-minute plank. Work up to 20 push-ups. And that really is how you get it. Good. So hardest part, most fun part is over. And then from here, we're going to sit back onto our chair. Good. We're going to come back a little bit right where we started before we go to some stretching here to end. So find your bouncy bounce. Good. Find your breath. Good. You can add more power if you want. Once again, let's clap for ourselves. This was not the easiest workout, but it was a fun one, so I hope you had fun. Good. And then once again, just take that forward and back. Maybe a little bit more of a bend in the elbows this time. Good. Don't forget your clap. Good. And then from here, let's let those arms settle back down. And then a little bit less power. Just a little bit of movement. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, we'll stop a little bit here. Let the breath and the heart rate come back to normal again. We're going to come back to another stretch. So back to where we started. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. Over, over, over. Good. Maybe we want to get that little C curve roll. Maybe we want to come a little bit more. Maybe we want to rotate and come all the way up. Good. Going into a little bit of a circle. Good. We'll stop when we come up. We'll take that to the other side. Reach and lengthen, taking that over. Good. And then from here, maybe getting that little C curve. You can stay here. You can take that little circle. Coming up, coming over. Maybe the other arm, make it pretty. And coming back. Good. From here, take your hands, clasp, press away and around. Take it behind you. You can clasp or you can take your hands to your ball. Good. Find it here. Good. Let's just stretch the shoulders a little bit more here. So just take one arm, any arm, across. Good. Coming underneath. And you might have to kind of find your sweet spot here. So it's always okay to kind of move. Obviously, pain is not a good sensation. Numbness, tingling. But you know your sweet spot when you find it. And then when you're ready, good. We'll open. Go right into that other side. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, here is a tricky hip opening stretch here. So if you're like, yeah, my balance is not really good today, I really don't want to do this on this ball, you can always come onto your back and do your figure 4 here. So we're going to start, good, coming forward a little bit on your ball. Find your balance, find your center. I'm going to start by really rooting on my left side, and then I'm going to take one hand on my ball, take the other hand and cross over here. Now, again, this is a little bit of a balance challenge. Now I'm going to take both hands here. So if you're on your back, you're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee. For some of us, this is all you're going to do. Maybe it's a balance issue. Maybe just this is the extent of your stretch today. And that's fine. You'll stay here. Those of you that want a little bit more, hinging from the hips, long spine, you'll come in. Good. Those of you that want a little bit more here, you can try kind of pressing in and out a little bit. Going to your limit. Good. And then when you're ready, not too fast, we'll carefully come out of there. Good. And just kind of do a little roll here, a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Good. And then we'll take that into the other side. So if you're on your back, you're just going to cross the opposite ankle over the knee. Those of you that are going to try it on the ball, good. Really anchor and root through your right side now. Good. One hand's going to be on the ball. The other hand is going to help maybe pick up. Obviously, this is not my strong side of balance here. Good. And you'll rest here. Good. Now we've got both hands on the ball. This might be where you stay. Those of you moving on, maybe you hinge forward. For some of you, this is where you'll stay. And then for others, maybe you can play with moving back and forth here. Good. And then we'll carefully come up, carefully release. Good. From here, big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale and come down. Good work. I hope you had a fun time experiencing a little bit more joy, a little bit of a different mindset with this ball. If you fell off, no worries. It takes a while to practice. Come back, play this again, keep practicing, and eventually you'll get there. I hope you had a fun time. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.